Hey guys, TheNuttyBuckeye back. I've got a review today on a new item I actually picked up. I've needed it for my Spawn collection. It is Spawn the Dark Redeemer. It is like an evil version of the Redeemer, and don't know too much about the actual character, but I do love the figure. So let's get this bad boy busted out of its plastic prison and take a look at its articulation and everything that comes with it. Alright, just one second. So on the box itself, we've got the title Spawn, the Dark Redeemer. You've got the open frontage of the plastic with the image of the character on the inside. On top it shows that this is 14 plus, not a toy, Mcfarlane toys. On the side you've got an actual picture of the original Redeemer, the good guy, the heroic Redeemer. On the other side you've got image of the Dark Redeemer, some feathers in the air, and Spawn. And we've got on the back an actual image of the figure in action, 22 moving parts, Mcfarlane.com, the Dark Redeemer, and the title Spawn up at the top, and then image of the action figure. Very top of the box we see the open plastic letting the light come in, and the bottom of the box got some legalese and lets you know where it's made, such as that. So let's get this bad boy out of the box. I've actually wanted this one for a while, but I never really pulled the trigger on it. And then when my Mama Buckeye and I happened to be at PowerCon, Mcfarlane Toys was doing a toy or a fan appreciation booth where they were giving out free action figures to their fans. And my wife actually got this one, and she and I traded because I needed the Dark Redeemer and she wanted the Flash figures that I got. And as you can see, the Dark Redeemer is in his plastic prison. Let's remove the strips that are on him. I love Mcfarlane toys, but this is one of my biggest pet peeves, is the way they're strapped in so severely. It's like, what else do you think is going to happen to this toy in the shipment of it? I mean, it's just a toy. I do understand, though, they're keeping it safe from getting damaged and marked up, because there's a lot of toys that get bumps in their packages and they'll lose like color, the definition of things will be damaged, and it's just, I guess, for the best to keep it all securely tightened, locked away. Sorry about the noise and the time, but there we go. Finally got the actual figure out of his case. We're gonna set this aside for 1 second while we take a look at the backdrop. This backdrop has a cool lightning effect on it. It's also got the feathers for the character strapped in to keep them safe, and it's got a base for Spawn, so we will pull that out as well. After you remove those items, it looks like you can't really use the backdrop because it has too many tears and marks in it. It doesn't want to hang out and act as a backdrop for your collection with all the damage done to it. But I guess if I'd have done it a little safer, a little neater, it could have worked, could have lasted out. So the first accessory we're going to look at is the base. It's got the title Spawn on it. Just a round base with a single peg on it. I actually like the Spawn bases. It lets you know the line. Mcfarlane, I think, does a good job with them. It's just nice to have bases with your figures, so you can like stand them up and put them in more active poses, and the base helps them stand. We've got the sword of the Redeemer. It's got a black base and just a wash to it. I mean, could have had a little bit more done to it, like some actual paint rather than just the base of it and then the wash, but the detail on it is actually rather impressive. I mean, there's a lot of detail on this sword, and the wash helps to bring that out, but it just it makes you think that it could have been just done a little bit better with some more paint apps to it. But again, it is what it is. And Mcfarlane, when this is on sale, it's actually only like $19.99, and I think a lot of places even have it on clearance now. The two wings, I'll put those in the figure. We'll take a look at them. But again, this kind of the same thing as the sword. They've got a black base with a gray wash to them, just to bring out the highlights, the feathers. Really nice detail on the wings. It's just something you don't expect to see on a figure that inexpensive. And then here is the Redeemer himself, or Dark Redeemer himself. He is got two hands, both have the trigger finger hand on them. I mean, this is a really cool looking action figure, no matter what you think of Mcfarlane toys, what you think of Spawn or whatever. But this, I mean, I like the line. I love the line. And I've got the whole collection pretty much up in my office. But for people that don't like it, it's still just a gorgeous action figure. Really nice detail on the breastplate. You got the Templar emblem on his belt. More Templar like around the thigh. That was the kind of like symbol of the 90s. All action figures had like a thigh strap or weapon holder. Got two holes on the back for the wings to go in. Just nice armor plating, filigree detail there. Up on the shoulders, nice detail. Same thing with this shoulder plate. Really cool cross emblem on the forehead, or on the head itself. Like the vision would be through the sidebar of the cross. And I don't know if I like the blue and gold version or the black and silver version better, honestly. I just I like the design itself. I think he's a cool looking character. And let's check out the articulation here for you, though. The figure with the soft plastic shoulder guards actually can hit a T-pose. The arm go 360 all the way around. He's got a bicep swivel with the shoulder is like attached to the lower the bicep, so it can spin all the way around. You've got a double jointed elbow, allows the figure to get the hand all the way up to the face to scratch his eyes, pick his nose, whatever. And then his hand is, this one is hinged up down on the right arm, but it's on a ball joint and spins 360. And then both arms are like, let's see the hinge on this arm. Yeah, this hinge is up down as well on the other arm. So they're the same way. They've got a butterfly joint on here like Mcfarlane does. So it helps him get across, and where he could actually grip his sword with both hands. Then you've got, let's check out the head and the vision on that right now. So looking down, that's pretty good. He actually looks all the way down to his, where his chin hits the armor plate. And looking up is not so great as his metal. My brain just collapsed. His metal. I can't think of the word. The spikes on top of his head, we're just going to call it that, they interfere with him looking all the way up. And then he's got an ab crunch forward, but doesn't do much because he's got an ab separation. And then he's got a ball turret at the waist. So when you try to crunch him forward, when you count the ball turret part, it actually goes a bit. But then backwards, it's amazing. It's, I think, the thing that's interfering are these little plates of armor here. When the torso and ab wants to come forward, those hit and doesn't want to let him go forward much. But going backward, it's like breaking his back. You can go all the way back, all the way back. And a lot of people criticize this diaper part that goes on a lot of Mcfarlane figs, but this one I think is fine. It's not overly ridiculous. I think it works well. He's got a slight thigh swivel, actually more than slight. It's a decent thigh swivel for the character on both legs. The armor does not interfere with the left leg. Then he's got a double jointed knee. You can get his leg up, ding, to touch the booty. And again, let's see if the other one does the same thing with the armor, if the armor is interfering. Yeah, it's a little harder to get the left leg up to touch. It does, but you got to force it. And so the armor is a little interfering. But wow, even when you bend that down, you see the filigree there on the lower part of the knee. That's pretty cool. And then after that, you've got your ankle rocker. It's on a ball joint, and it hinges that far down, and it can go, wow, ankle breaking that far up. And he's also got a toe hinge, which will do that high. So you'll be able to get the figure in some decent poses, I'm sure. But that's a nice looking model in my opinion. Now let's get all of its accessories put on him and take a look at the model. Alright, we're back. We've got the model complete with his wings put in his pegs. Model's grabbing the sword with both arms to show the flexibility of the cross arm grips. He's posing there on his base. You can get into a decent pose there, as you can see, even though it is like everybody says, oh, Mcfarlane's, you can't pose them for anything. I think it's a decent pose. Flight wings about to burst into action. My thought on this figure is I think it's a really nice action figure from Mcfarlane. Again, I don't know much about the Dark Redeemer other than when it first appeared as in the earlier books, but he had a totally different look than this. Sorry about that, trying to get the camera set back up so I don't have to hold it. And again, any figure that can use all of its parts and have them all on the figure. So you've got he's holding the sword, he's got both wings attached. Focus in on that. Let's get the sword out of the way. He's got both wings attached, he's on his base. Everything for the figure is together. Anytime you have something like that, I think it looks great. Works nice when you can have the whole piece as one setup. And again, I guess the only thing I would change on this, it could use a better wash, or not a better wash, but more than just a wash, instead of just bailing on some of the details that were left out. As for any Mcfarlane sculpt, this thing is just so detailed. The sculpt work is amazing. I feel that the paint could have had some more paint apps. The flexibility, I know people crap on it and they always make fun of it, but I personally really like the Spawn action figures, Mcfarlane Toys poses, or the articulation. I think they can get into some great poses. On my Instagram, I've got a lot of pictures of the Spawn I've done and Grifter, and I feel that they can be put into some great poses. I personally don't see the gripes on the articulation. I really enjoy them, but again, I do feel this one could have used some more paint apps. But for just a black and silver model, and for the accessories to have just black base with a slight gray wash, I think this figure is fantastic. And the fact, again, that you can put all of it together, so he's on his base, he's got his wings, he's holding his sword, so everything that comes with the model is on the model. That is fantastic in my opinion. But hey guys, I appreciate you being here if you've made it this far. For those who are going through a dark time, just turn away from the darkness, head to the light. There are people out there that do care about you and do love you, so just look to them. And I hope you've enjoyed this video. If you have, pass it along, share it with some of your friends. Give it a like if there's things you didn't like about it, or if there's things you don't like about Mcfarlane's action figures. Please leave a comment. Let me know so I can talk to you and speak with my followers, if you don't mind. And for sure, if you haven't yet, please subscribe. It does help me out. And I really would appreciate the extra views, and just give me a chance. Thanks a lot, guys. You guys have a great day. Nutty Buckeye is going to be out. You guys take care. God bless.